What up everybody, it's me the Nerdy Hero. I'm here to do a non-spoiler review for Captain America Civil War, and I don't even know where to begin with this movie. I'm gonna say right off the bat, I love this movie. I love this movie so much. There's no doubt in my mind. Some people think, oh, let me watch a few more times, let me get some more views in, give me some time to process it. I don't need that. I know for a fact. This is now my #1 favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. You know, just my favorite superhero movie in general. And maybe even my favorite movie ever. And that just sounds like a fanboy talking. Well, oh well, sue me. I love this movie. And I'm here to talk about some of the things, non-spoilers. Let's just get right into it. So, right off the bat, the airport fight. Now, while remaining non-spoiler, I just want to talk about this fight first. This fight is the main centerpiece. It's around the halfway point, a little after the halfway point of the film. And that's when everybody just comes and it clashes, and oh my gosh, that fight. I was shaking. My hand was shaking the whole time. I was at the edge of my seat. I was eating a bunch of gummy bears. I love gummy bears.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
And I was just eating it, and I was just shaking. My hand was shaking. My friend looked at me. I went with my friend. He looked at me, and I had just the biggest grin in my face. I couldn't stop. I love this movie so much. I gotta breathe. Okay, that airport fight scene is, without doubt, one of the best things I've ever watched in cinema history. I love it. So let's move away from that, move more into the characters. Oh, I got a text message. So, Black Panther being introduced. Chadwick Boseman comes in. The moment he comes in, he has the accent, the African accent. You look at it, this is Black Panther. My gosh, this guy killed it in the role. And when he had the suit on, he was savage. He was brutal. He didn't care. He just went for it. And I'm not going to say about his overarch, because it gets kind of spoilers territory, how he ends at the end of the film. So I'm not getting into that. I'll do that in my spoiler review. So after moving over to him, I'm going to move over to Zemo. Now I'm not going to say too much about him because of his plan and what he was. Some people say that he's the weakest part of the film, and I'll agree. He was the weakest part of the film because obviously he's not Baron Zemo from the comics. He's just a guy named Zemo. What his plan was initially basically to turn the Avengers against each other. That's his goal, and he worked. But there's some major plot holes in his plan that you could point out. That's why he's kind of the weakest part of it. But at the same time, as I'm watching, I'm like, I kind of like him as a character, not as him as Zemo or him as the villain. I liked him as a character and what his goal was, even though you can't point plot holes in his overarching plan. But again, I'll get into that in the spoiler review. Next I'm going to talk about is the humor and the tone of this movie. And when the movie was first announced, people were like, oh, it's going to be another cheese fest, lots of jokes, and it's not going to be serious at all. There's really just going to be like, you know, cat scratching at each other. It's going to be nothing, no real fight. Well, they were brutal. They were brutal with each other, and maybe in some parts they weren't trying to kill each other. Some of the things they did were pretty brutal, but during at least the main fight, I'm not talking about the end fight. The end fight was nasty, mean. Oh man, that was bad. That was full-on emotional horror story is what they called it before the movie was released. They called it that, and that end fight is what that was.
You know I wouldn't do this if I had any other choice, but he's my friend. So was I.
But during the main fight, in the airport fight, they were fighting hard and heavy, but I don't think in some parts they were trying to kill each other. Some punches were like held back. But the humor fit in very well with this movie. It wasn't like out of place or just comes out of left field and it wasn't funny. I think most of the jokes, if not all, hit hard. And they were really funny, especially Spider-Man, which I'm not going to talk too much about Spider-Man. I already made a video about him and his role in the movie and how much I love that. So I'm not going to talk too much about him. He fit very well in the movie, that's all I said. And then, obviously, Ant-Man brought a lot of humor into the film. So it was like there's jokesters on both sides of the team that, you know, fit really well. You're also going to have a lot of the awkward moments here and there between everybody. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier have some of the best moments. They have like two of the funniest moments in the film. The main part of this film is about friendship and everything, and I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a Barney TV show, and it's all about friendship, but
friends are special, so important, they make the world go round.
Between about Bucky, Steve, and Tony. These three are what hold the movie together. And it is Captain America's movie, and it stays as Captain America's movie. It does not like diverse to all these different arches, and it gets all messy all over the place. When it comes down to it, you really see him having to choose, you know, with Bucky or with Tony, and you see him like trying so hard to do the right thing, but at the same time, Bucky is his weakness. And when it comes to Bucky, the lines get blurry for him. Everything for Cap has always been black and white, everything. But when it comes to Bucky, things get a little gray for him, and he has trouble, you know, paying attention or focusing. And you see that happen with him in the film a couple times, and he just cares about Bucky so much and what he's doing for Bucky and trying to help him. But that causes a rift between him and Iron Man, and Iron Man's motives throughout the film have a couple of different versions. And people say, oh, why is Tony going against the government? Isn't he, why is he going with the government? Isn't he always been the rebel of the group? And yeah, in Iron Man 1 he was, but since Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Avengers 1, Age of Ultron, you see him go through this arch that it's really good character development. You see him slowly turn, and in this movie, they tied in so well why he is in his position and why he's doing what he's doing. So this film is about almost perfect, if anything. The one weakness has to be just the villain, and again, I said even I kind of liked him, not as a super villain, but as a character going, as another character along with everybody else going through his arch. So that's all I really can say about it, guys. I love the film. Everybody needs to see this film. I'm gonna watch this movie again tonight, and I don't know how many more times. I need to see this movie in the theaters over and over again. I love it. It's my favorite MCU movie. I already know it. There's no doubt in my mind. So remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember, keep it nerdy.
And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Whoa.
Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
It's funny that I only ever see two of you. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.